Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has accepted all of your great deeds and amal, especially every step that you have taken, every intention that you have made on the pathway of commemoration in mourning of Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi salatu wassalam, with the hope and pray that inshallah we can all gain the bounty for his ziyarah within this year beside the loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And inshallah, before we can get started, we can remember all the marhumin and marhumat, the newly deceased ones and beloved ones from the community, mu'mineen and mu'minat, all of the shahada, recent shahada from around the world, Rahmat al-Shaheed, and all of those individuals who have volunteered and dedicated their time and resources on the pathway of Ahlul Bayt and the Quran, helping out in the majalis of Allah, and saying within your prayers by reciting a loud salawat followed by Surah Al-Fatiha. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله. And as we get closer to the last moments right before Ashura, and as the level of the pain and suffering continues to increase upon the heart of our Imam of time, inshallah, we can be a source of support by expressing our sincerity in the form of the most sincere of our salawats in the honor of Imam of time, Hazrat Sahib al-Asr al-Zaman, Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We're thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His bounty and blessing to be able to get together under the beautiful banner of the name of Sayyid al-Shuhada Abu Abdullah Hussein within the month of Muharram. And hopefully we've been able to gain some aspects of the ma'arif of the Ahlul Bayt and the Quran from this majalis, and hopefully it will continue to increase and inshallah become that roadmap, that blueprint of how a true lifestyle should be living in the West. So we've started talking about two major or two primary concepts from which we drive the entire discussion that we had for the previous nights. Those two concepts were mercy and justice, but according to the perspective of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning from a divinely aspect, not from the humanitarian aspect. We talked about it that literally speaking, every single thing around us, within the cosmos, within the universe, within the next realms, whatever that is can be mentioned and pointed and has the label of being a thing or a being, it comes through the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another word, even justice is one of the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in a better terminology, justice is when mercy is shaped in its proper position. When the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is framed and is presented in the proper position, that's what we refer to as justice. So that's from the divine aspect. From the human aspect, we talked about this, that is a little bit different because when we talk about mercy, it's an internal emotion. We feel merciful towards one another. We feel like, sympathizing, towards one another. So it's when we lack something or some part of the support in our audience or within ourselves that it results in us being merciful. What about justice? Justice a lot of times gets defined again according to the set of laws or legal aspect of it. So if it goes according to what we assume as fair or just, we call it justice. If it goes the opposite, we call it an act of injustice. So you can see there could be so many different schools of thought when it comes to definition of justice and mercy, depending on the base of an argument that the ruling system, the legal system, the right system that we are using is going to benefit in which aspect, for what objective. So there will be different types of rulings, hence there will be different types of applications of justice, which is why perhaps a lot of times we may come to encounter this within today's world, as if there are different narrations of justice when it comes to an international view. So that being said and done, then we start talking about the different examples or misdal application of mercy and justice, in which it becomes the perfection of that mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number one was the holy book of the Quran. Number two, Nabi Rasulullah. Number three, A'immatul Adhar, the Immaculate Imams. Number four, those who actually have become like such a close, loyal companions to the Imams, in which within the descriptions of our own Imams, they've been included with them. Give the example of Salman al-Farsi and how he was mentioned as Minna Ahlul Bayt, right? Then he continued. Then he said, okay, now what's all of this is going to do for me and you living after 1400 years from the event of Ashura, from the tragedy of Karbala, and then talking about mercy and justice from a divinely aspect. Then we start saying, okay, so this divinely aspect of the mercy and justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala represents itself within the personality and the qualities of various people in different levels. So one of the perfect environments, if you want to talk about in terms of like a lab environment in which you have all the examples in front of you, you can pick and choose and analyze and further dissect each one of these examples, will be the event of Muharram and the event of Ashura. Why? Because we have so many different like personalities coming from a different background, perhaps even different intentions, but at the same time, those who end up remaining with Imam Hussein, all of them end up in one single position or status, in which again, once inshallah you guys go for ziyarat, as you go for the ziyarat of the Ashab and the companions, there is a famous line that we say, may my father, may my mother be sacrificed for you, wishing to be among them. So, and we know these guys were different levels. They had a different background. They had a different religious resume. They had a different, resume when it came to their accomplishments. Not all of them were in line with Imam Hussein at the beginning, but at the same time, the end result is same for all of them. So, first question: is this a form of justice, or is this a form of mercy, or is it neither one? Right? Because we talk about companionships. Companionship comes with, like, actually, we have this principle, we call the principle of luhuq, lahiqa. Lahiqa means when something joins another, right? And when it comes to the religious framework, we talk about when someone who's like, let's say at level one, joins someone who's at level 100, joins someone who's at level 1000, joins someone who's at the level, let's say, a million, a billion, and keep on going up. The one who's at the level one, but they're able to join them. They call it luhuk, right? The one who's at the lower level joins the upper level. So how is that again reflected on the concept of mercy and justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So that's one more point to consider. When we talk about justice, again, remember, don't think of it from a humanitarian aspect. Humanitarian aspect, we try to set everything equal, right? And that's why a lot of questions comes about. Is this really fair? Is this really just, right? When we try to look from that, like, equal, what do you call it, vision. When it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not about looking at everybody in an equal aspect, but it's actually looking at everybody according to their circumstances and conditions. And that becomes a true definition of justice, right? It's not, if you want to treat everybody the same way, so many problems happens. Imagine if you feed, a new baby, an infant baby, a food that you will feed to, like, let's say, a professional athlete. What happens? Well, we talk about equality, right? So if everybody's equal, I have to give the same food to everybody, same water to everybody, same living, like in a situation and conditions to everybody, right? So what happens as a result? It will be all injustice and injustice and injustice. Actually, will head towards destruction. So that's again looking at it from a humanitarian aspect. When you look at it from a divine aspect, it's the mercy that is given to all, but the proportion of the mercy varies based on the person. Hence, what Allah provides in form of the ni'amat and the bounties will be different, right? And that's why we talked about it, that a lot of times the conditions in which may look like a severe condition, the condition in which may look like a painful situation, loss of a loved one, loss of a job, loss of maybe children, those difficult moments of life in which we feel like, oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not like me because He's giving me all of this pain and suffering. It's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite. Why? Because objective is different. Objective of the divine mercy is different than objective of mercy that me and you usually think or assume. We assume if someone is merciful, will give us everything we want. Whatever request we have, it will be cashed out. Whatever we want, it will be given and provided. No, it's not the same thing. Objective is for us to grow. Objective is for us to actually, make our like capabilities and potentials and turn them to an actuality, turn them to part of our identity, to turn it to the identity to the form in which we're going to live and exist with that form forever, forever. Hence, what happens? All of these, let's say, difficult moment, these pains and sufferings of life, sickness, lack of job and security, even safety, even, for example, not having like, proper income, all of it gets a different, like, what do you call it, aim. The aim that through this difficult moment, if we remain patient, patient towards what? Patient towards the problems that are coming at us, or patient towards the circumstance, or patient over, like, overall, what is our objective in life? They say the third one, not the first two. A lot of times you say, maintain patience doesn't mean just take it as is. No, a lot of times we can actually make changes. Let's say if I lose job, right? If I want to be patient in the wrong definition, what am I supposed to be doing? In the wrong definition. Stay at home and start doing du'as. Or more, invite other brothers and sisters. Okay, let's do dua for me so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me a job. So that's in the wrong definition. Yes, we're supposed to do dua. We're supposed to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're supposed to even ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the spices that we put on our food, right? So to that detail, we're supposed to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we have to also remember it's not only asking, it's also acting upon what we're requesting. And actually, that's the definition of dua, right? The dua in which we say dua kumail, dua faraj, dua like nudba, right? This dua doesn't mean only to like supplicate and recite words. It's not only a form of prayer, but it's a form of prayer in which comes with action. So technically, like that's what we say. Like when we do it, like when we recite dua faraj, for example, when we recite dua of our amount of time, it's not only we're asking Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to hasten His appearance, but in reality, and we should be taking steps to make the ground ready, circumstances ready, the conditions ready for His arrival and for His appearance. So that's the again the true definition of dua. It's not merely words, but every word has a meaning. When I ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the words of du'as, literally I'm saying and I'm claiming. Hence, my actions should show up for that dua. Otherwise, it will be merely words that I do not even pay attention to. Or the ziyarat of Ashura, in which we recite every day in the month of Muharram. There are so many concepts and teachings within the ziyarat of Ashura. So that's why a lot of ulama they say just don't get in the habit of like memorizing it and just reading it through as fast as possible. Every so often go back and contemplate what is it that we are reciting, what is it that we are saying. And a lot of times when we contemplate and reflect on the meanings, we see that in a sense we're actually cursing our own selves within the ziyarat of Ashura. How? When we're like saying, "Oh Allah, I'm trying to like, I'm going to continue the, for example, the pathway of Imam al-Hussein, or give me the life of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Grant me the life of Nabi Rasulullah and the progeny of Nabi Rasulullah. And, for example, the death of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. But at the same time, when it comes to reality, I'm asking this from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when it comes to reality, the slightest chance that may come, I will run away. So what am I doing? I'm making a false claim in a sense. So that's why a lot of ulama they say like when you recite Ziyarat al-Ashura, take a moment, take a look at different phrases that you read, right? And contemplate on the meanings of it. There's a lot of teachings again embedded within the du'as that we have. Our beloved fourth Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, Muhammad. His way of teaching me and you is through du'as and supplication. Meaning that every phrase of each of the du'as that we have, it's like a line of a curriculum book. Not a curriculum book that you just read and memorize, a curriculum book that is supposed to change our lives, right? So Ziyarat of Ashura, no different from that one. So when it comes to this whole concept of mercy and justice, we talked about some of the contradictory points that may come to mind. The first one was the whole concept of, the severe conditions that may fall upon a believer, a pious person. And we talked about this, that this actually is a form of, elevation. It's not a form of a pain and suffering, meaning the person is becoming, or reaching a worse situation in their life. No, it's exact opposite. Examples, the lives of our imams, right? Look at the life of Nabi Rasulullah. Look at the life of our prophets. Look at the life of Nabi Ibrahim, Nabi Noah, Nabi Adam. Any of the Anbiya you look, Even Nabi Sulaiman, in a sense. Because a lot of times, oh, that may be an exception. Nabi Sulaiman was given everything he wanted. He had the power of talking to the jinns. He had the power over the wind. He had the power over basically everything, right? So sometimes we make a comparison. It's like, okay, if that's the case, why Nabi Sulaiman was like this? But at the same time, you have to understand that Nabi Sulaiman was given so many things. At the same time, he had to counter so many other things. You have to see the other aspect of the picture as well, right? Nabi Rasulullah was given the Quran. Why? Because the time of Nabi Rasulullah was known for being the most literature time, possible. So in a sense, people were all like literate in terms of the Arabic language. They could easily recite a poetry, and through poetry, people like would inform one another of the news that was happening right on the spot. So that's why we have so many poetry of that time. And that's why when they were like, the famous poets of the time of Nabi Rasulullah, before the revelation of the Quran, when they could hear the ayahs of the Quran, they could become speechless. It's like, we're the expert in the field. And like in that time, the celebrity of the time, we have never seen something like this. So they start calling this a miracle, a mu'jiza. Then they start calling it sihr, which is, part of like let's say a voodoo or something. So they start plugging cottons in their ears, so they would not hear the recitation of Nabi Rasulullah. What a recitation can do, right? Imagine everybody's walking with cotton pieces in their ears, right? Or for example, the time of Nabi Musa, Nabi Moses, he was given the gift or the divine miracle of, not magic, but something to defeat those magicians, because magic was the number one trend of his time. So each prophet is different according to their time, and they're given different, let us say, utilities or like powers. Doesn't mean the other prophets they do not have it. No, they just don't reveal it because the conditions that they're in. Similar to our imams, each of our imams they have different titles, they have different kunyas, and they're known for specific attributes. Doesn't mean other imams do not have it, right? So famous example is like, if you move Imam al-Hussein from year 61 Hijrah and replace him with Imam al-Hassan al-Mujtaba on the same years, same conditions, same circumstances, the same result is going to happen, right? Because كلهم نور water. Because all of them are from the same light, that light is united. There's no difference. But again, circumstances in which they lived, yes, it represents, it projects a different aspect of their personality. So that's why we focus on each imam and we usually talk about their unique, personality or qualities. And for, this reason, when we talk about Imam al-Hussein, he becomes to be known as the Baba, Rahmatullahi al-Wasi'ah, the gateway in which this gate contains the divine mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at its max. Why? Again, situation in which Imam al-Hussein was placed and how he was able to come out of that situation in the most perfect way possible for any human being. So for that, we have to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why we try to like always learn, set those companions, those loyal companions of Imam al-Hussein as role models. Because again, this life sooner or later is gonna pass by. As a matter of the fact, it's gonna pass by a lot faster than the ones the previous generations. Because every generations that we go by, the life expectancy is supposed to become even less. Why? Because there are so many other problems and issues that comes about. At the same time, this whole concept of like, humanism, in which like it's all about me, my rights and my wants, right? Keeps on expanding and expanding and expanding. So as a result, what happens? Limited resources. Everybody wants the exact limited resources. What happens? Conflicts and fights. In the same, tent, the place that you're sitting, there's only one mic. If everybody wants to speak at the same time, what happens? There's a big, like, fight. There's a big argument. There's only one chair, like, for the speaker. If everybody wants to sit on the chair at the same time, right? So this can happen when, again, when we expand the generations of humanity, which is only formed based on what we call it the humanism. Like, it's only about me, only about what I think, only about what I want, only it's about like, what I like to do. So what I like to do versus the 7 billion plus people, they like to do something as well. It's going to cause conflicts and conflicts and conflicts. So we have to go back to, again, a base of an argument in which is going to provide that proper objective for all of us. So that in a way that we're like, as we live our life, we're able to set the priorities correctly. We're able to move away from illusional paradigms, illusional lifestyle, illusional wishes, illusional wants, which again, a lot of times it just gets penetrated within our mind from external factors, sometimes internal factors, so many different factors. But I just have to find a way to put a stop to it. One, modify it. Two, three, aim towards it and move towards it. That's the life of a mu'min. Yes, life of this believer, it could go any way you want. And like again, today with the help of so much of the technology, unfortunately, the lives of the disbelievers have become, has become projected at its max. Meaning there's so difficult to say no to this and that, this and that. Why? There's so many options. There are so many options, right? And every option we see, one way or another, one or two of us, they may like this one, option A, option B, option C, option D, all the way you go. There's, especially with the social media, there is no definite number to it. That's, a perfect example of kasarat, we say the plurality, right? But the plurality that doesn't necessarily speak of values. That's the main part, right? Doesn't necessarily speak of values. If I wanted to give like a little bit more easier example, at the time of, let's say, Imam al-Hussein, time of Bani Hashim, the Ashab. So Imam al-Hussein, it wasn't like, he was poor. No, he was actually very like, fairly rich to the point that you've heard like, his generosity in the stories. On one spot, he gives 60,000 dinar, 60,000 dinar, 60,000 golden coin. They, I think, auctioned one silver coin last night. One silver coin, right? Put that aside, 60,000 golden coin on the spot, right? So what's the conversion? I don't know. So indication that it's not like Imam didn't have a choice except for the lifestyle that they have. No, they chose that type of lifestyle for a reason, right? And that reason becomes the role model for me and you. Because again, we look at our Imams as what? As the perfection of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning, if the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were to take the form of a human being, right, it would look exactly like our Imams. Why? Because they only provide what is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's, again, their function. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to them, right? So that's why their reasoning becomes like a role model for me and you. Doesn't matter what year we live, doesn't matter how past the years that they live, we go back to their type of reasoning because we know they don't do an action just based on their hawa, right? They will not do an action just based on their desires and like, furthermore, animalistic desires. No, whatever they say, whatever they do, even if they keep quiet and silence, that becomes what we say a reason for me and you, even living in this time. So, same concept, let's apply it to the tragedy of Ashura and the Karam of Imam al-Hussein. Tonight, they talk about someone very unique, someone very special, and for all of us, I can say, a perfect role model. His name is Hazrat Ali Akbar, the beloved son of Imam al-Hussein, and the beloved son in which even our Imam of time, when he wants to do his ziyarah, he has a specific description and a specific salam for him. Meaning that Hazrat Ali Akbar has this unique, position, unique status, even at the heart of our Imam of time. So it's not only unique to Imam al-Hussein. So what is his background? If you just want to, again, review for ourselves, that's one of the reflection points from all of these majalis. Every night, try to contemplate on one of the shahada and try to like go deep, right? Try to like do a further analysis. Not only what happened and what took place, not only the story and the tragedy, not only the epic aspect of it, but try to see what type of a jewel he or she was, and then like, what kind of a loss me and you are facing today, acknowledging that they're very same human beings at that time, knowing the teachings of Islam, practicing the teachings of Islam, stood against them, and they were racing one another to get a bigger piece of this jewels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This story doesn't end. It's not like it's going to happen once and it's not going to happen again. No, it keeps on happening and happening and happening in different form and different level. Obviously, that's the maximum level of it. So Hazrat Ali Akbar, when you look at his background from both sides, right, he's connected to Anbiya basically. From his mother's side, the genes goes back to Nabi Isa. From his father's side to Nabi Rasulullah. So in a sense, when it came to his look, to his appearance, He was like number one celebrity of that time. Everybody would say, wow, mashallah, Hazrat Ali Akbar. Those who would not say mashallah, they would say, oh, Hazrat Ali Akbar reminds us of someone very special, Nabi Rasulullah. The one that the entire nation of Islam, were like expressing their love for, whenever they would get tired, they would actually go and take a look at Hazrat Ali Akbar. So it's not only his physical appearance that is like, again, synonymously is accepted by everybody, but also the way that he, like, lives among the people. He's known for his generosity, right? A generosity that he would not, like, foresee and, like, bypass, his own father. So by the permission of his father at his house, he used to have like this sofras, this, the cloth in which we put and we provide like food for those who are in need. And then he had like actually specifically asked his servants to go on top of the roof and make this fire and keep it like, on for the entire night. Because back in the days, no electricity. So if someone was new in town, or if someone was reaching the town after it was dark, or someone didn't have any place to go, it was all dark. So Hazrat Ali Akbar had asked for this to go on top of my roof, the roof of my house, keep this fire on as a lighthouse, as a sign. So whoever is in town, whoever is gharib, whoever is new in town, whoever doesn't have a shelter, whoever is hungry, whoever has any need, they know where to find my house and they can come and knock on our door. Just one example of his generosity. And when I say this example, don't think of it in age of, oh, maybe he was like already past the prime of career, so he could give something back to the society. No. The earliest that they have mentioned is the age of 23. They have mentioned maximum age of 27. So he's been doing this generosity in the younger ages, the prime of his age, even before that, the youth age. Make a comparison, right? Just one example of his generosity, his courage, his skills of martial arts, and his skills of like bravery, and skills of war and the battlefield. Again, example of what, that he was both handed. He had skills in both hands, right? Simultaneously, he would pick up two spears and fight with two spears. Simultaneously, he would pick up two swords and fight with two swords, representing the footsteps of his grandfather Amir al-Mu'minin. So he had multiple attributes, not only the courage, not only being brave, not only being generous, but knowledge, the knowledge that he had. Look at the entire movement of Imam al Hussein, right? One way to understand the closest companions are the ones who are constantly with the Imam, yet again, we don't hear anything from them. They're present. It's not like they're absent. Sometimes I'm not there, so you won't hear from me, right? But no, sometimes I'm present in every moment of that, like let's say event, but you do not hear something, right? That's one of the way to like, like try to like find the focus. It's like, okay, why are we not hearing anything from, this is specific individuals that they're always there. And as a matter of fact, the Imam provides or like, expresses passion towards them. One of them is Hazrat Ali Akbar. Second one is Hazrat Abbas. Right? These two individuals, they're present in every, like let's say, scene, image, manzil, space, whatever you want to call it. And they've been giving a lot of responsibility. Again, the sign that they're capable, they're worthy. But when it comes to words, when it comes to viewpoints, when it comes to comments, when it comes to what do you think, you don't hear anything from them. There are few lines, very few lines from Hazrat Ali Akbar. And the one that he actually does speak up, it's on the pathway to the land of Karbala. One report says he was next to Imam al-Hussein. They were riding. Another one says no. They had come to a stop and Hazrat Imam al-Hussein was taking a nap, leaning over Hazrat Ali Akbar. He was like so tired. Let's say on the way they stop for a second as Imam like is sitting, he's having like, he's taking like a nap, right? And he's leaning against Hazrat Ali Akbar. All of a sudden, Imam wakes up from his nap. It's a very short nap, about 2 or 3 seconds, they say. Gets up from his nap and says, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So Hazrat Ali Akbar is right there. Right? That's the very first line we have from him reported. Immediately, he doesn't let it go. It's like, why father? Why inna lillah? Because that's the word we use when we know it's bad news is coming. Imam Hussein said, as I had my nap, as I was like, taking my nap, I saw this angel approaching me and saying, oh Hussein, you're going towards Karbala and the angel of death is preceding you, pushing you towards death, giving me the news that this journey that we are going has no return. Then Hazrat Ali Akbar sends the second line. It says, Alasna bil haq, alasna bil haq. O Abu Abdullah. Doesn't matter which direction we go, but isn't it the direction that we have taken on the pathway of truth? Isn't it that we have taken the right path? So what does it matter? The end of it be death or be life? As long as we are on the right course, we know we are going towards the right place. So whatever happens, Abu Abdullah the same turns around and informs him that yes, indeed, this is the only right path, and this is what I've been told, not only by Nabi Rasulullah, but by my father Amir al-Mu'mineen, and this is our final destiny. Then Hazrat Ali Akbar says, then what's the fear of the end result being death? Death is not something new. Look at the reasoning, look at the very same reasoning that we have from Imam al-Hussein, for example, in which he says, like he's talking to the companions on the day of Ashura, and he says, وَمَا الْمَوْتِ إِلَّا الْقَنْطَرَةِ. Death is nothing except the bridge from this world to the next. Don't be afraid of death. Look at it as a transportation means. Very same concept, very same reasoning. And you see it even with, for example, Hazrat Qasim, that he says on the night before Ashura, that أحلى من الأسل, that the death to me is sweeter than honey. You see the same concept, same reasoning, same understanding, different ages. So Hazrat Ali Akbar presents, this reasoning solid right before, way before the day of Ashura. So that's knowledge, that's generosity, that's courage, that's the look. Furthermore, it's how Imam al-Hussein pronounces and announces and invites Hazrat Ali Akbar to the battlefield. And he provides the description. For Allah, bear witness. Allahumma shahad. Barada qalaman. I'm sending this youth, this child of mine, to these enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who has the most resemblance to Nabi Rasulullah in terms of his physical appearance, in terms of his moral values, and in terms of the way that he speaks, in terms of the language that he uses, in terms of the words that he uses. So if you have one human being who represents and resembles someone such as Nabi Rasulullah in three aspects, one is external physical aspect, one is internal, the way they reason and talk, and the third one is the moral and ethical value of the person. It becomes an exact identical copy of that person. So a lot of ulama, they say here you can actually talk about how high of a level of faith and iman Hazrat Ali Akbar had, and some of them they actually talk about the concept or the level of being infallible. But the second type of infallibility, not the infallibility by default, but the infallibility that he was able to actually clinch on and gain through the way that he lived. So the most pious, the most loyal, the most of the supporter for Imam al-Hussein, and at the prime of his age, with that amount of knowledge, with that amount of generosity, with that amount of respect and adab, to the point that we never hear, let's say, a complaint. We never hear a word back to Imam al-Hussein. We never even hear a word from Hazrat Ali Akbar to his other brothers, or even to Hazrat Abbas, or even to the companions. So the mountain of courage, mountain of knowledge, mountain of being at the prime age with bravery, all of them sacrificed on the side of Imam al-Hussein for the sake of Abu Abdullah. On the day of Ashura, when the Ashab and the companions have already gone, and no return of the Ashab and the companions, there comes the very first turn of the Bani Hashim, the very first one from Bani Hashim who exceeds everybody and basically runs for sacrificing himself for the sake of Imam al-Hussein is his beloved son Hazrat Ali Akbar. He goes up to Abu Abdullah. He has put on his armor, he has his swords, he probably has his shield. Oh Abu Abdullah, Assalamu alayka ya abata, halli min rukhsa. Do I have this permission to go to the battlefield for the first time? For the first time in all the permissions that Imam al-Hussein has given, this is the first time that Imam does not hesitate even for a second. So many have come to Imam al-Hussein before Hazrat Ali Akbar, and they had asked for permission, and Imam would not give them permission. Even Joan, the servant of Imam al-Hussein, who was like an uncle, Even him had gone to Imam al-Hussein. Imam al-Hussein had told him, no, you cannot go to the battlefield. So you had not given the permission. He would like try to install them a little bit, maybe wait a little bit, maybe they change their mind. Maybe they don't want to go, maybe they're not sure about what they want to do. But when it comes to his beloved son, Hazrat Ali Akbar, the Maqatil says, immediately after the request, Abu Abdullah says, yes, my son, go without any hesitation. How is that possible when we know the attachment between father and a son, especially when it's Imam al-Ma'sum, to someone such as Hazrat Ali Akbar, who is known for his look, who is known for his moral values, who is known for the way of speaking, and resembles Nabi Rasulullah, is not a normal bond. It's the most like severe in terms of the depth of the bond. So how is the mom is giving him permission right away? There are so many discussions about this, but Allahu A'lam. Nonetheless, Hazrat Ali Akbar on the horse, he enters the battlefield. He starts announcing his name. I am Ali, the son of Hussein, the son of Ali. And we are more beloved and we are more respected and we have the honor to be the descendants of Nabi Rasulullah. Those guys, they hear the eulogy of Hazrat Ali Akbar. Oh, his name is Ali. He's the son of Ali. Now we can imagine how the hatred is going up from the opponent's side. But his Hazrat Ali Akbar. He's known for his martial arts. He's known for his capabilities when it comes to the battle. He starts attacking the army from the left, from the right, from the center. No matter which direction he goes, he's able to successfully go around the army and kill as many as up to 120 people that they narrated on his first charge against the enemy or against the army of Umar Assad. Then the reporter says, but I noticed that all of a sudden, in the middle of all of this, I could sense that the horse of Hazrat Ali Akbar is making a U-turn. Hazrat Ali Akbar is going back towards the Khaymagah of Imam al-Hussein one last time. Perhaps he wants to see the face of Abu Abdullah one last time. Perhaps he wants to say one last farewell. Perhaps he wants to hear the words of Imam al-Hussein one last time. Some of the scholars, they say perhaps this is the reason he made a turn back, because Imam al-Hussein had not given up his hope on Hazrat Ali Akbar completely yet, as if the heart of Imam al-Ma'sum is connected to the heart of Hazrat Ali Akbar, and he's not allowing anything to happen to Hazrat Ali Akbar. So he sensed that he goes back to Abu Abdullah. The two are facing one another. Hazrat Ali Akbar says, وَالْعَتَشُ قَدْ قَتَلَنِي. Oh Baba Jan, the thirst is killing me and the weight of this armor is bothering me. Is there any jura, any piece of water with you that I can quench my thirst a little bit? Then I can show these guys what a true blood of Haydar is. The Maghdal says, فَبَكَى أَبَا Abdullah بُكَاءً شَدِيدًا. Imam al-Hussein started to cry right there. Why? His beloved son asking for one little thing that can be found everywhere. You can find so much of it in the Euphrates River. Everybody has the right to benefit from that water. All the Bahaim, all the animals, all the birds, anybody has the right to benefit from that water. And Hazrat Ali Akbar is not asking for something severe or scary. He's just asking for one drop of water. What can a father do to Hazrat Ali Akbar? Imam tells him, oh my son, be patient and go back to the battlefield. Soon you will be quench your thirst by the hands of your grandfather Amir al-Mu'minin and your grandfather Nabi Rasulullah. Once you see them, convey my salam. Go my son, I will soon join you after you. Hazrat Ali Akbar goes back towards the battlefield. But this time is different. Again, he starts fighting and fighting, up to 80 people more that he kills. When Omar Assad sends one of his champion named Tariq, he is known for his skills and he's the heavy champ of the side of Omar Assad. He comes and he approaches Hazrat Ali Akbar. Hazrat Ali Akbar just goes through him like a piece of wind. Tariq hits the ground. When Omar Assad sees this, he says, we cannot kill him one by one. Start attacking him in groups from different directions. Take whatever you have, whatever you can, and just attack him. I want him to be dead on the ground. That's when everybody attacks Hazrat Ali Akbar from different angle. They circle around him and they use whatever they can. on Hazrat Ali Akbar, and guess who's watching couple yards back on the tongue of Zainabiyya? Abu Abdullah, Anzul Jannah, looking at the Godal of Qatzlaga. What does he see? Hazrat Ali Akbar being surrounded and surrounded by these layers of the army and the soldiers, and everybody's hitting and trying to hit Hazrat Ali Akbar out of the hate that they have. All of a sudden, one comes from the blind side with the spear on the side of Hazrat Ali Akbar. Hazrat Ali Akbar leans over to pull out the spear. Another one comes with the middle club, hitting Hazrat Ali Akbar over his head. The body of Hazrat Ali Akbar falls from the horse, hanging onto the horse by two hands. The blood of his head goes over the eyes of the horse. The horse starts running forward instead of coming backward. Now it's just you and the body of one man, Ali, the son of Hussein, the son of Ali. How would they go about it? It's the description of Maqatil. Qatta'u, whoever best was striking against Hazrat Ali Akbar to cut him into pieces after pieces after pieces. But Imam is still watching. He's waiting for the last call when finally the sound of Hazrat Ali Akbar goes up to the sky. He doesn't say Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. He says, Oh Baba Jan, this is Nabi Rasulullah. This is Amir al-Mu'mineen. They have given me the water that I've been asking. They're conveying their salams to you, O Abu Abdullah. They're saying to haste towards us and we are expecting you to join us soon. Oh Baba Jan, this is my farewell to you. They say Abu Abdullah rushed towards the enemy and the army of Umar Sa'ad like a falcon, pushing everybody back as he turns around to go and get to Hazrat Ali Akbar as if it's already too late. So the Maqatil, they say, فَسَعَدَ أَبَا عَبْدِ اللَّهِ Imam Hussein mounted down from his horse next to and close to the body of Hazrat Ali Akbar, as if he's trying to see if there is any more pulse left within the body of Hazrat Ali Akbar. So he kneels down. He's not able to walk straight. He walks on his knees. He gets closer and closer and closer to the remaining of what the body of Hazrat Ali Akbar may be. Embraces him chest to the chest, and he's trying to see if there is any sign of perhaps last breath. But he cannot continue. He lays back the body on the ground. Now he goes even further down in the form of a sajda. He places the side of his face next to the face of Hazrat Ali Akbar and keeps on saying one time, two time, three times, Oh Waladi Ali, Oh Waladi Ali, Oh Waladi Ali, Oh my son Ali, Oh my son Ali. Oh, my son Ali. Perhaps Imam just wants to hear one more word from Hazrat Ali Akbar saying, Yes, Baba Jan. But when this is happening, now all of a sudden there is a pitch silence. The enemy starts to do halhala. They start to clap. They start to say Allahu Akbar. They thought the soul of Abu Abdullah has left his body. But there comes Sayyida Zainab Salamullah alayha. She's looking and observing closely what is going on. She knows the bond between Hazrat Ali Akbar and Abu Abdullah. She starts running out from the Khaymegah and the tents towards the Godal of Qatzlegah. As Imam al-Hussein looks around, finds out Sayyida Zainab approaching. He is Ghayratullah. He stands up, he embraces Sayyida Zainab and says, My dear sister, this is not a place for you. And he takes Sayyida Zainab back to the Khaymegah, but he calls upon the youth of Bani Hashim. Says, O youth of Bani Hashim, go and grab the body of your nephew and your cousin Hazrat Ali Akbar. How many people does it take to bring one body out? But now 17 people at least from the Bani Hashim, they go and they start collecting whatever they can find from the body of the beloved son of Imam al-Hussein. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب الغني إنا نسألك وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم العز الأجل الأكرم الراهي بحق محمد وعلي وفاطمة والحسن والحسين وتسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين يا الله 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 يا الله. Oh Allah, will ask you on the right of Imam al-Hussein and the right of the Ahlul Bayt and the Quran, hasten the appearance of our Imam of time, and inshallah grant every single one of us the bounty to be part of his companions. Oh Allah, will ask you for forgiveness upon all of us, upon all of our marhameen and marhamat, and oh Allah, will ask you to provide shifa, complete shifa, speedy shifa, upon all of the mu'mineen and mu'minat from the community and around the world who are facing difficulties, sicknesses, diseases, or facing difficult moments in their life in answering their hawaij and requests. Oh Allah, will ask you to accept this majalis on behalf of your mercy and extend the sawab and rewards of these majalis to the souls of Muhammad, Marhumat, Shuhada, Muslim Shuhada, Ulama, Mahajazan. Oh Allah, will ask you to grant all of us the bounty of the ziyarat of the Ahmad Bayt within our life, and inshallah the benefits of those shafa'ah within the next. Rahimallah man qara'a